Okay, so today, guys, we are here for day 2 of the World Series of Poker Main Event. If you missed day 1, that was pretty damn wild. I'm not sure many people have had crazier situations than I did. So if you haven't seen that, make sure you check it out. Today we are with day 2, and we have 100 big blinds to play with. There's no real short stacks, and the goal will be to keep my head bobbing at 100 big blinds the whole time. So I have the first fucking clue what I'm doing, about 10 minutes away from the start of play. So let's go and find our seat in day 2 of the main event. Okay guys, there is really no way of describing what I've just done. I'm going to try my best to explain it. I have just gone for the biggest bluff of my entire life, without question. The most insane bluff of my entire life, without question. And I have no idea what you're going to think of it. I still don't know what I think of it. It might be absolutely class. It might be ridiculously bad. I do not know. Let me know what you think in the comments below. First of all, we have Jack of Spades, 8 of Diamonds in the big blind. We have 80,000 chips. We've won a few pots before this, about 400, 800. The low Jack opens, who's like an American whatever reg. Doesn't seem that good. Seems like he might be prone to tilt. I call the big blind, 1600. He'd been opened. He opened the low Jack. Flop is 7, 10, 10 with 2 diamonds and a club. I have the 8 of Diamonds, and I check. He bets 1500, and I've just decided. Look, basically, guys. What I've decided is that England are playing on the start of day 4. If I'm going to be missing the England game, I'm having chips, okay? And I've basically lost all fear at this point, as you'll find out in a second. If I'm going to miss the England game, I'm having chips. That's basically what I'm saying. And I think this is a really good combo. I've got a gut shot, I've got a diamond, I can do a lot of turn barreling. People attack these boards too often. The paired boards are really good to attack. So I raise to 4100 and they fold. So just give you an idea of where my head's at, just start with that hand. Next up, ace 8 of clubs, 84k at 400, 800. Open it under the gun 1 to 1700 and the big blind calls. Big blind is like another American reccy reg looking type. Probably more on the really leaning on rec. He's trying to get everyone on the table to drink, so. The flop is 9-8 deuce with 1 club and 2 spades. He checks and I check back. I think I'm going to use big bets and checks here, and this seems to fit well into check back. Turns to 4 of diamonds, so pretty dead. He bets 2k into 4600 and I have nothing to do with call, so I do and I call. And the river is the deuce of spades pairing the board. Pretty under bluff spot, I think, but when he bets 4k, I don't even need to think about it. It's less than half pot. It's classic recreational bluff shithouse sizing. So I just snap it off and he shows 7-5 offsuit for a complete nothing burger. And we're up to 95k, which leaves us with the hand of the day. Probably the hand of my life. I don't know what to fucking say about this one, guys. I don't know what it is. I don't know what came over me. Genuinely don't know what came over me. Ace Jack of Diamonds, 95,000 chips at 400, 800. The low Jack opens to 1700. Low Jack is a good reg from Bulgaria. Seat 1 actually is a Lithuanian guy that I had yesterday who was a really big problem for me, and he's going to be a big problem again. He's got loads of chips and he's very aggressive and very good. I call the button with Ace Jack of Diamonds, and the big blind, who is a American girl who has won a tournament this year in Florida, has the most chips on the table at the start of the day, but she's lost some and she's got about exactly the same as what I've got. Makes it 6,500 in the big blind, and the low Jack calls. I call behind. I think I have to. It's 20,000 in there, 20,300 in there. Jack 5 deuce with 2 hearts and a diamond. Big blind bets 6,500. The low Jack calls, and obviously with a backdoor flush draw, backdoor straight draw, top pair, I am not going anywhere, so I call. The turns of 4 of diamonds give me the nut flush draw and a gut shot along with top pair and top kicker, and she bets 27,200. She's massive, and I'm just thinking this is pretty queens, kings heavy. Aces, yes, but I have an ace, so seems like mostly going to be lots of queens and kings, and it seems like a really reasonable card for her to barrel. I'm going to have a few straights here. I'm going to have ace 3 of hearts and ace 3 of diamonds. I'm also going to have sets, obviously 5s and deuces. I'm probably not going to have pocket 4s, but I am going to have pocket jacks sometimes as well, definitely. And I'm going to have some flush draws. So she bets 27,200, low Jack snap folds, and I have to call, I think. Not comfortably, but I'm calling. And the river's the 8 of hearts, bringing in the front door flush. She checks. There's about 50k back, just over 50k back, and there's 94,200 in the middle. Now, I think here that no one ever checks this spot with a flush. I don't think anyone ever checks this spot with a flush. So I think in terms of showdown value, all the things that I can check back and beat will fold to a jam anyway. She's not going to have flushes, I don't think, because I think she maybe wouldn't bet the turn so aggressively, and I think she would never check the river. And I've got a jack, which blocks top set, which is definitely going to call. And it seems insane, but I load the gun and I jam for my last chips in my tournament life for 50-something thousand. Didn't get the proper count. I think the dealer's got it though. Well then.
All in.
How much?
52.9.
And she starts tanking. I'm like, oh my god, she's definitely got queens or kings here. I'm just like, fucking hell, what have I done? I still don't know what the fuck I've done. She tanks her like, not even that long, like a minute, and she's just calls. And I'm like, okay, GG, I'm out. Hi, Sam. Oh, wow, I can't believe that. I was bluffing.
I know, I didn't think you had a flush there.
Why?
I didn't think you would call the turn with a flush.
I cannot believe you called that river. Nice hand. Wow. That is mental. Holy fuck.
Both of you, nice hand.
That is insane. She calls and I go, nice hand. And she turns over ace jack offsuit. And I'm just like, oh, I chop. I'm like, how the fuck have I bluffed all in the main and been called by chop? And she was like, oh, I just thought you were after me. You know, I didn't think you have any flushes. So, because you called such a big bet on the turn, and to be fair, the jack is a heart, so I can't have jack X of hearts. And I was thinking about this, and I was like, well, I definitely have ace 3 of hearts, and I have ace 5 of hearts as well. So I definitely have flushes. Not to mention that when she checks the river, and this is the problem with bluffing this spot against this player type, is that when she checks the river, I don't know anything about her, so I'm just going off general population. It's the main event. People don't want to call queens and kings in this spot, right? They really don't want to call kings and queens in this spot. But what she's assessed is that I never have anything but a flush of value, which is not true. I can jam when she checks the river. I know she doesn't have a flush. I can jam sets. I can jam straights as well, which means that she definitely has to fold ace jack. Like, unbelievable call. Anyway, I give her the props for finding the call. Maybe I gave something away, I don't know. But she basically based it on the fact that I don't have a flush, which I do. So, a completely mental hand. I have no idea what to say. I was completely relieved I won some chips off it because, you know, we chopped the guy's money up and he put like 12k in there. Completely wild. I don't know what came over me. I don't know what came over her. We both needed to calm the fuck down, basically. But biggest bluff of my life, biggest call of her life probably. And we're still both in, probably to do it off another day. Then one more hand before the break. Very, very shortly after, ace queen of hearts, I've got 100k at 400, 800. Open under the gun 1 to 1700, and the cut-off 3 bets to 5500. I call. The flop is ace 6-4, club, spade, diamond, so no backdoor flush draw for me. I check, and he bets 3100 into 13k, and I have nothing to do but call, so I do, and I call. Turn is ace of clubs, goes, I check, and they decide to check back. River's a 6 of spades. I said at the start, do you reckon I can ever get credit for a bluff here? I wonder if I can get credit for a bluff in this hand. It's in like joking, it's like everyone's gonna think I'm fucking full of shit every time because I've just bluffed off the most insane thing of my life. And I nearly blocked the river, like thinking he's got a lot of queens, kings, jacks, tens that won't call a big bet. And then I thought, he's gonna think I'm a fucking maniac. So I just decided to size up to somewhere around half, 2/3, 11,300 into 19k, and he snap calls and like flicks a jack in my face. I think he must have had ace jack, which makes a lot of sense. We win that one, and now we're up to 115k going into the level 2 of the day. And honestly, I might need to go and fucking calm down somewhere. Aaron Barone's here. I wonder what Aaron Barone thinks of my bluff. Do you come and talk about my bluff? I'm gonna tell Aaron off camera what happened in the hand, and then we'll get his reaction. Right, so I've just told Aaron Barone about my hand. He's very, very good at the game, so let's see if we can get this through him.
All right, well, the first part is the bluff got through, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Did it.
Well,
good bluff.
It didn't get through.
Oh.
We got called by the same hand. Got called by ace jack off.
All right, well, I don't think the bluff's going to work as well as I thought in the beginning.
No, neither did I, obviously.
Maybe they'll fold kings, queens, because it's the main, and it's, especially without a heart.
Yeah.
Also, if she knows you don't have many bluffs at all. Somehow she thinks you're a crazy bluffer. It's probably the sunglasses.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I like the move. I like we got half the pot, and, keep it rolling.
Thank you, man. How much you got?
80.
80, nice one. Well, can you get a few more, please? Because I'm kind of carrying the team here.
I'll try.
2% swap, and come on, you're stinking up the gaff here. Right.
Do my best.
We've got to go back. Let's go. How are we doing, guys? End of level 2 on day 2 of the main event. A few hands to go with you. Some of them are pretty cool, I think. Okay, first up, we've got ace 5 of spades. We've got 110k at 500, 1,000. We opened the cutoff to 2,200. The button calls 2,200, and the big blind calls as well. Flop is ace 10-9 with 2 spades in a club. Pretty nice. 5,100 in there. I go for a check after big blind checks, and in position on the button goes for a bet of 2,200. Big blind calls and I call. I don't think we want to check raise here. And I like my check on the flop. Ace of diamonds turn, so it gives me trips. Concerned about the button having some 10s and 9s for sure. Could have a counterfeit 10-9, something like that. Obviously some queen jacks and some just random stabs as well. It checks through on the turn after I check, and button checks behind, and then the river is a 4 of spades, giving me a flush. Now, with an ace and a flush, I'm like quite heavily blocking a lot of, things going on. I think maybe a block bet could be good, but I'm really not sure I'm getting called here by many worse hands. I decided to check to let the button maybe potentially bluff something behind me that he could have stabbed the flop with, but he does quickly check back and I just win the pot. So maybe could do it more out there. Maybe should have gone for like a 2/3 pot bet on the turn, on the river. but whatever, it's okay. Or I could have blocked as well. King 10 of hearts next up. Guys, I don't know what's coming over me, by the way, but I am spicy as fuck in this, on today, just specifically, I'm absolutely going for it. So, King 10 of hearts, 110k. I lost a lot of pots at this level, but like not that interesting. Like a lot of small ones, just opening and then check folding. So I've got 110k at 500, 1000, 1000. I open under the gun 2 to 2200. The small blind calls, who is a reg, who is a Lithuanian guy that was on my table yesterday, and he's a big problem. He's really good. And the Bulgarian in the big blind calls as well, and he's also very good, over 1 million in live earnings. So these two guys are not who we want to be playing against particularly, but here we are. Flop is ace, queen, 6 with 2 spades and a club. It checks to me, and I decide to bet 2k. I think this is fine, pretty good board for my range overall. Some turns I can barrel if I feel like it. Just the small blind calls and then the big blind folds. Turns a 3 of clubs, 11,700 in there about. He checks and I decide to use overbet and check here. And this hand, I think I maybe do some checking back with some flush draws because I want to realise my equity. And then this hand, I just don't really care. It's like not that good. Like he's going to have a lot of bet check folds on the turn. Maybe it's like just some ace X, even like stuff like ace 10 maybe struggles on this turn. And his flush draws will have to fold as well. So maybe unblocking them is nice. I'm not really sure. It's an interesting one. I decide to overbet 12,200 into 11,700 and he folds pretty quickly, which is lovely. Now this one, guys, just before the break, I thought that was all we're going to have and I might have time to pee, but we are going to have to talk about this hand because I am a fucking spicy motherfucker, let me tell you. I've got 10-8, 10 of spades, 8 of diamonds in the big blind. I've got 100k, like I said, I lost a few pots. And the low jack opens, who is like a whatever American reg that I spoke about before, and I defend the big blind. So it opens to 2k at 501k, so I have to defend a lot, and I call 10-8 off. Flop is queen jack 6 with 2 hearts and a club. I don't have a heart. I check and he only bets 1800. I'm personally using large bets and checks on this board. He's gone for a small bet, which is typical for most players, I think. And I think probably my hand folds. I've got a gut shot, which is probably fine, but maybe some reverse implied odds. No heart, it sucks. I decided to just peel because maybe if he checks back the turn, I can win on the river. Queen of diamonds on the turn. Think briefly about donking, but I don't think I can. So I check and he does check back after a short tank. And the river is the 10 of hearts. So I was planning on just bluffing the river like all the time, obviously, because I have to. And I was going to use like a very large sizing, just being like, yeah, I've got a queen plus. And then using some block bets with like a jack if I want to. I check, he bets 7,500 into 9,100. I decide that this is a really good hand to check raise. I can have a lot of boats here. I can have queen jack, queen 10, pocket sixes, but I may not check raise that on the river. I might bet myself. But queen jack, queen 10 is definitely I have. And I have pocket jacks. He has a lot of like ace king, which I think is going to be under real pressure here. It's a heart as well, so it's 3 hearts. He can have some flushes, which also I hope to be able to fold out. I think my sizing is a little small. I check raise to 26,700, which I think is probably a bit small because I am repping boats. So maybe something in the region of like 35k would have been better. He tanks for a little bit and then lets it go. And I mean, he tanked for like a minute, so I'm assuming he had something like a queen or an ace king or a flush, but I expect all those to fold, like quite often. Maybe I need to go bigger though. The interesting thing is, like, he's seen me bluff that insane ace jack earlier, and then in the next hand, it's the same player with the ace queen of hearts hand where I bet the river and he snap call with ace jack, and I wasn't bluffing that time. So he may think I've gone into my shell a bit. It's a super under bluff spot. Like, I don't know what the fuck's going on, guys. I'm losing my shit over here. I'm going mad. I'm fucking bluffing everywhere. I barely had a hand, but I just keep bluffing. I need to calm down. I just need to calm down, I think. Let's grab a coffee and go back and play level 3, and I'll see you in a bit. Hey guys, here with Aaron Barone, going to dinner. That was a rough level for me. I have played one hand. I played 2 hands. I won one of them after a c-bet and a fold. And the other one, well, guess what, guys? I was fucking bluffing again. And guess what? It didn't fucking work. So we are going to go and talk to Aaron. Where's PF Chang's, Aaron? Are you excited?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Really authentic Chinese food.
Yeah, authentic, really traditional Chinese food.
Yeah.
And we're going to...
family recipe passed down.
And we're going to talk to Aaron. Obviously, Aaron's a big old crusher, upswing poker coach, all that jazz. And we're going to talk to Aaron about this bluff. I think it's the most questionable of the ones that I've done. And I've done a lot. And then we're going to ask him for some general tips because we're coming back to 50 big blinds, guys. You know what that means? It means I haven't got a fucking clue what I'm doing. So let's go and sit down and do that now. So obviously the plan was to go over this bluff on the break with Aaron over dinner, as you can see here. But unfortunately, for what's probably my fault, the audio was completely scuffed. The microphones weren't getting picked up, and it was just a complete mess of noise in the restaurant. He opens, he's a thing, he's a whatever. Reg thing, not sure. So we're just going to have to make do with me for now. So we've got ace of hearts, king of clubs. We've got 105k at 600, 1200, 1200. Under the gun 2, who has got 80k, opens to 2500, and I 3-bet the cutoff to 7200. Seems pretty good. Just he calls, and we go to a flop, which is queen 10-4 with 3 hearts. I have the ace of hearts, 17,400 in there. He checks and I go for a small bet. We can either check or go for a small bet here. I don't think it matters too much which direction you choose. I do decide to bet on this occasion and they do call. I'm thinking I'm going to be barreling off like all the time here. But then the Queen of Diamonds hits on the turn. There's 27,400 in there and I don't love this card. It's going to hit them pretty often. It's going to make them quite sticky, I think. Aaron, for what it's worth, wanted to barrel this card, which, you know, he's much better than me. So this is probably just completely fine to barrel. I didn't want to do it at the time. So I did decide to check back and just evaluate the river situation, which was the deuce of diamonds. Pretty bricky, but like when he decides to check call flop for such a small sizing after calling a 3-bet, he kind of just has like a lot of potentially the same hand, like ace king. He could also have pocket 7s, 8s, 9s with a heart that might want to fold this river, maybe even a 10 that wants to fold the river. I'm not sure. I contemplated my sizing for a bit here and I decided to go with something around half pot. I do want to start betting like pocket jacks here, I think, and maybe even ace 10. I'm not completely sure, but like I think that we can go pretty thin for value here. I decided to go for a round half pot. Aaron liked like a smaller 40% sizing, so we look like we've hit that quite on the money with the 12,200 that we did decide to bet. And unfortunately, we get absolutely snap called by the ace 10 of clubs. But Aaron did really like this bluff, so I'll take it. All we had today so far in this situation was just opportunities to bluff, and we took them all, so I'm pretty proud of that. And this one, it didn't feel great because I got snap called, obviously, and you know, the discontinued line check back on the turn, I guess, feels maybe a little bit over bluffed, but what can you do? I went for it, and we were then down to around the 75k mark. Well, guys, that was an unsuccessful level. Only one hand to speak of. I pretty much folded for the most part. Did we have anything to do? I made a 3-bet queens and everyone folded. I opened ace king, everyone folded. Apart from that, I pretty much folded. And then there's this one other hand, the big hand, the hand that makes my face look like this. The Bulgarian reg, who's been very, very solid and certainly active, good reg. He opens the cutoff. Yes, he opens the 3k at 1,500. He has about 60k out of about 70k. I defend the big blind with the queen 8 offsuit. Seems fine. The flop is queen, queen, 7, rainbow. So I have 3 queens. I check. He bets 2k and I just call. I think we can definitely raise, but calling seems probably fine. Turn is a 4 of hearts, bringing back to a flush draw. I check. He bets 7,500 into about 9k. I think we can never raise, and we can obviously never fold. So I call, and the river is the king of diamonds. Not my favourite river, and obviously if he's like blasting, then I'm not hugely thrilled, but like cut versus big blind single raise pot, it's like, what do you want me to do? I've got queen 8 like on this board. Especially when like maybe he has like queen 5 suited if he bets, and like I could maybe value catch potentially. It might be a stretch, but if it isn't a stretch, I just always have to call, especially if it's a very capable reg. Anyway, I check, he tanks for a bit and then bets 25k into 28k. Really? I'm probably not going to fold, just give me a moment. How much is in here? It's like pot, okay. I mean, this is so ridiculous, isn't it? I really, really hated this spot because I called twice, especially when I call a big bet on the turn. On this board, it looks a lot like I have a queen, or maybe a sticky 7, or like pocket 8s or something. I don't know how likely it is that someone's going to be bluffing this spot, but like if I can beat value, maybe. I don't know how thin this guy is going to go, but like really feels like I just can't fold to this player in this spot. So I just call. And unfortunately, he's got pocket 4s, turned to full house. Nice hand. Then I lost a few more blinds and we're down to 25,500, going back to big blind 2k, so we are looking pretty fucking desperate at this point. It's a real shame, but honestly today, guys, it feels like nothing I could have done. Like I've had very, very few value hands, like extremely few. There's not even any that I've really missed out that have been small pots. I don't know what I could have done. I tried to make things happen with the bluffs that I thought were really good. I think they were good. I'm proud of myself for those, but unfortunately, we are very short. It's not over yet, so last level of the day coming up now. I busted in level 4 of day 2 last time, so we made it further than that at least, but unfortunately, yeah, it's looking a bit grim. We're gonna be all in probably very soon. The next thing you might see is me all in, so best of luck. Let's see if we can spin it up and make it to day 3. Wish me luck. All in dealer, 25,500. Thank you, man. 3 chips now.
3 raise.
They love that they never want their son to be a professional poker player. So it's their nightmare, you know.
Well, I must be fucked.
Yes.
We'll go to a flop dealer.
Good luck. Right?
No,
Dang,
I didn't say anything.
This is the sickest thing. Good one, you know. It's moving forward.
No. 10 will do. Nice hand.
Yeah.
Good game, buddy. Wish you the best as well. All the best. Lithuania, I'd like to say it's been a pleasure, but I haven't enjoyed any of it. Bulgaria, good game, man. Good game. Good game, buddy. Good game, France. All the best, everybody.
Okay, there, jump up.
That's it, guys. It's over. Sunglasses can come off. This is the raw, immediate reaction to us in the main event. You can only get it right here, Ace-8 Poker. This is the only reason they let me play. Yeah, someone opens to 4K, I jam 25K with pocket nines. I mean, at 12 big blinds, literally nothing I can do. And someone wakes up behind me, kings, queen 8-6, flop, brick. And that's all she wrote. A really difficult day. Tried to make of it what I could. Pulled off some, attempted some bluffs, pulled some off. Some really ridiculous hands. I barely had a value hand all day. It was a really tough one. It's sort of like when you bust the main. Like last year, it felt really bad. This year, I feel okay. Like it wasn't like one brutal hand that got me. It was just I just got worn down throughout the day. Like I mean, I pretty much went 8 hours without a value hand. It's really difficult to do that in the main event, especially with a lot of these chaps are good players. And yeah, I just really had nothing to get my teeth into, so that's it. Feel matter of fact about it. Wednesday I get to watch England now, silver linings. So yeah, that'll do it. Thanks for coming with me for the ride, and hopefully see you guys next year for a better account. Good luck to the rest of the team. All the best. Well guys, as you will have just seen, that is it for me. I'm out of the main event. I jammed ace jack suited, got that through, and then woke up with pocket nines. Geezer opens to my right. I'm like low jack. I jammed pocket nines, like got 12 and a half bigs. What do you want me to do? And guy behind me from Ukraine who just hasn't played a hand basically all day, cold calls, and I'm just like, well, that's me done. Queen 8-6, jack queen. So we did pick up a little bit of equity on the turn, but not to be. It hurts, it sucks. Like, it's never nice to bust this event, but I honestly can say, like, as I've just said to the guys, the Ace-8 crew, I really feel pretty matter of fact about it. I don't think there's anything that I could have done today. I tried my best to make of the hands that I had and tried to pull off some pretty ridiculous bluffs. Some things I think that a lot of people won't find, which I'm very, very proud of. I think I've come a long way in that regard to have found those bluffs. Like, I was very tight 2 years ago when I cashed. I just didn't really have anything to get my teeth into today. It was tough out there today. I gave it everything, and unfortunate that we didn't get it through. So thanks to anyone that bought action. Sorry I couldn't bring it home. It is what it is at the end of the day. Yeah, GG's for this year. Good luck to the rest of the team. Hope someone that I've got a swap with can go all the way and give me some juice. But yeah, that's gonna do it. Hope you enjoyed the vlog, guys. If you did enjoy it, please do drop a like and subscribe to the channel. Really helps me out. We had some real fun hands this year. Some of the wildest hands I've ever played. Some of the most insane spots I've ever been in poker, and in the main event as well. So yeah, it's brutal to be out, but I gave it everything, and GG. So home on Wednesday, England on Wednesday morning. I'm looking forward to watching that. Obviously, that's the silver lining. It would have been super stressful to watch England play and play the main event at the same time. I don't know what I'd have done with myself, but obviously would have made it work. But yeah, it's a painful one, guys. Thank you for watching the vlogs. I'll be back in England soon, and I'll see you on the stream and on YouTube. Appreciate all the support. Thank you very much to Ace-8 Poker, the best company in the world, for making my dreams come true. I really appreciate every one of you that's watched it as well. All the best, everybody. It's a good game for this year from the World Series of Poker.